24th of February 2004. On the 14th of November 2003, Sean Corey Carter, aka Jay-Z, released his own record called The Black Album. It was his 8th studio album. It debuted at #1 on the US Billboard charts, sold 500,000 copies in its first week. It was acclaimed by critics and nominated for a Grammy Award. In line with the then current marketing trends, his label released an a cappella version of the album to encourage unofficial remixes. In February the following year, the NYC-born UK resident DJ Danger Mouse combined these vocal tracks with samples exclusively from the Beatles' White Album. The project was originally created just for his friends for a laugh, but it was soon hailed as the maddest mashup project ever and quickly spread all over that newfangled thing that we used to call the internet. Danger Mouse hadn't sought permission from any other copyright owners of the underlying musical works. He and his label released the a cappella version. Jay-Z and his label had released the a cappella version so that others could sample his music and did not pursue any action against Danger Mouse. However, despite the fact that both Jay-Z and Paul McCartney expressed their approval of the project, the owner of the Beatles sound recording copyrights and the owner of the compositions on the White Album sent Danger Mouse cease and desist letters, and he immediately complied with their requests. The general public's response wasn't quite as obedient, and a day of coordinated electronic civil disobedience was called for the 24th of February 2004. Led by Downhill Battle, an activist group seeking to restructure the music industry, participating websites posted copies of the Grey Album for free download on its sites for 24 hours in protest at the attempts to suppress the work. The protest was provoked by the opinion that sampling is fair use, that a statutory license should be provided in the same manner as if a song had been covered. Hundreds of websites participated in the protest, and roughly 170 hosted the album for download. Over 100,000 copies of the record were downloaded on one day alone. The legal repercussions of the protest were minimal. A number of the participants received cease and desist letters from EMI, but no charges were filed in connection with the event. The Grey Album became super popular with both the general audience and with critics. Rolling Stone called it the ultimate remix record ever. Entertainment Weekly later ranked it amongst the best albums of the year. As observed earlier, in the depths of his psychosis, the maniac Charles Manson had mashed up the Beatles recordings with his idiosyncratic readings of the Book of Revelations in a drug-addled attempt at a blueprint for race war, catastrophically having PR results for the hippie music movement all over the world, except in the USSR, where Manson's currency with the hippies didn't carry as much impact as it did in the Western capitalist hemisphere. Digressing, free riffing, freestyling, yeah. It's just as well Manson hadn't heard of Demis Roussos's outfit Aphrodite's Child and double LP 666 banging record that. Who knows what would have happened and what he would have made of that then, but we digress. With the Grey Album, Danger Mouse had been able to wield his mad remixing skills, and he produced a miscegenated synthesis of the traditional white musical icons with the contemporary black musical icons, reconciling black and white, ancient and modern, critical and commercial, amplic and decadent. Ooh, it's the third what works beside you, eh? More about this in the future.